Chandrayaan 3, our final, our pièce de résistance, if I may, that if India, because just saw what happened with Russia. Russia went to space before India did, and now Russia is crashing on the moon. Looks like India is all set to land on the moon and
Fingers crossed, Krishna.
yeah.
I mean, we had our hopes pinned really high even last time around with Chandrayaan 2, Vikram lander, its maiden mission onto the moon, the surface of the moon, the dark side of the moon to try and make a landing. Did not really go through at the last moment. And we lost communication with the Vikram lander back then. This time around, hopefully, the landing gear, the communication systems, as ISRO has been reporting, have been worked upon over the last few years. And everything else last time around seemed to be perfectly in place, except for the landing mechanism and the communication link. Hopefully, with those two items fixed on the lander this time around, we should hopefully be able to make a clear-cut landing. And not just a landing, a lot beyond that. Exploration, rigging, mining, trying to probe into what lies beneath the surface of the moon. Most importantly, will there be discovery of water? Some sort of water or some form of water which helps scientists back in India and the world over understand, is there life in any form possible, if not already available, on the surface of the moon. So I think a lot to go onto after the landing. The landing is what everybody has their fingers sort of crossed for and hopes pinned on.
ISRO says mission is on schedule.
Yeah, welcome, buddy. I think that was a lovely message, right? We all saw that yesterday evening, woke up in the morning to papers. I think every editorial, every headline, front page carried this welcome, buddy. The communication between the orbiter of Chandrayaan 2 with Chandrayaan 3, and then sort of communicating that communication link between the two established. So we know for sure that it is in the orbit. It is due to make its landing effort 24 hours from now. I think not just the moon landing, not just probing what lies on the moon. I think as a pure confidence building measure for India, for India's space programs, and not just for ISRO, for the entire private sector. We've got startups, we've got private sector, government has opened space exploration for the private sector.
Right.
And this is really the moonshot that we as a country deserve. We come from, from challenges of our own. We have as a nation been able to overcome many of those challenges in the last 25 years. And when
for the first time now, we have a chance of the private sector actively contributing to our space missions. And all these space tech startups are booming, as you rightly pointing out.
Absolutely.
We have Barnik Chitran Maitra also joining us. Barnik, thank you so much for taking time to be with us over here. Great moment for space tech in India. Momentous occasion for space tech.
Yeah, so I think best of wishes for Chandrayaan 3 to successfully land tomorrow. But regardless of the outcome, I think we are poised for a over $100 billion space tech industry in the next 15 years. So again, I'm very positive. The space tech industry has seen nearly $250 million of investments over the last 2 years. And we are going to see far more investments going forward. And it's just not what we are seeing. It's going to be space exploration. It will be manufacturing. It will be space tourism. So a lot of opportunity and a lot of prospects. Fingers crossed and all the best for tomorrow again.
Fingers crossed all that. My point is that this mission so far has, it's been a long mission, getting first the orbiter, separation, then the landing, it's gone so well so far, which already tells us that, there will be Chandrayaan 4s and 5s happening. It's a long journey in the process. And you've seen active, like Kartik is talking about, active work from the government to throw it open to the private sector as far as space exploration is concerned. I mean, we don't have to wait for the Musks of the world to land up in India. We can create our own Musks going forward.
I think we are already creating that as we speak, right? There are several startups, right, in the space. Dhruva, if you look at it, again, 4 or 5 of them which have already created waves. There are some of them who are also planning IPOs the next 2-3 years as we speak. So again, I think private sector participation in space is very important. Right now, you see all of it is government spending, but if you look at the next 15 years, we would expect 80% of the investments to come from the private sector. So again, tomorrow is a very momentous occasion and a big morale booster, but regardless of the outcome, we will have a multi-billion-dollar industry which will be led by private players in the next 5 to 10 years in this area.
All right, all eyes on what's going to happen come 6 p.m. India time tomorrow. That's when Chandrayaan 3 is set to land and complete its mission. But for now, we'll leave it at that. We are running out of time completely on the show. Mr. Barnik Chitran Maitra, thank you so much for taking time out to speak to us here on Business Plus on News 9 Live. We'll let you go with that. Kartik, as always, pleasure having you on the show. It's a wrap up from my side. This is Krishnakumar signing off. Keep it with News 9.